Oh, hold on here. Thimble.
And you got the
Blackberry.
fireweed there that's all fluffy there.
Oh, that's
that
fireweed,
stem,
eh?
that's the fireweed flower.
And where was the purple one again?
That is showy aster.
Okay. Showy aster?
Showy.
The ground.
Yeah.
It's the ground.
Maar het is ook zo.
Look at Columbine.
I must have farted.
See?
Yeah.
It's still in there?
He looks like it.
Do you need that too?
She needs everything.
She needs
Columbine?
Columbine, yeah.
Columbine, yeah. That's,
Yeah, big batch of Columbine, right? See them over there.
yeah.
Is this old yarrow here, right?
Oh yeah, look at that.
All you got to do is turn these guys over.
Oh, we want to collect some seed for the columbine.
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
I think I got
cool.
this one.
Finally found it at the right time.
You were looking for it?
Yeah, we've been looking for it for ages.
Oh.
Like, and we always...
Do you know what colors these are?
Pink
With
goose, like fish.
Well, actually, is it columbine?
Yeah.
It's larkspur, isn't it?
No.
No, it's Columbine.
Columbine.
Okay.
Columbine. I was
We use Columbine.
here and enjoying the pretty flowers when they were pretty.
Oh, yeah. They're
Pretty
beautiful.
flowers when they were pretty.
Pretty flowers when they were pretty, eh?
Okay, Franklin.
Well, they aren't pretty anymore. They're all gone.
So what do you use it? What do you use it for? Just use it? Or just admire it?
Well, this? Oh, just pretty flowers. I don't
Just-
use any medicine.
Just pretty flowers, eh?
Don't forget, we're not picking all of them, but...
Oh, is this one? Oh yeah, this is one. This one isn't quite ready.
Is this
Right here.
a natural thistle here?
It does look more kind of delicate. I'm not sure if you... The best way to know is to look around and see if you see...
Tim's got the bag out.
It's,
Wow, that's cool.
yeah, that's seeds.
Nice.
Is it rotten? I don't know.
It almost looks like a wild ginseng.
The ginger. No,
Ginger.
Ginger.
Ginseng is different than that.
Yeah,
There will
wild.
be ginseng in here somewhere.
Wild.
I see it. I'll show you.
So you
It
think
looks,
that's wild ginger, you're saying?
That's what I was thinking, but it
looks like.
looks like it, but I
don't
don't know. They're beautiful.
Black, aren't they?
Thistle there too, eh?
blessed thistle. Blessed.
Oh, blessed.
And Oregon grape.
Oregon grape.
There's the greens of the columbine, eh? The green, that's what they look like with the,
Yeah, they're really pretty, eh? Thank you. The seed is beautiful and black, isn't it?
Okay, this one is what?
that's false Solomon seal.
Oh, salmon seal, okay.
You can dig down in there and find it. Well, I'll do it over there in where the Devil's Club
Ah,
is.
don't. I want to take a picture of that.
Oh, yeah, no, it was
I
just...
thought you were going to pick
No,
it.
no, I was going to pick it out. There's only 2 on there, so...
Here's the wild ginseng right here. That's what they look like.
False salmon seal. Oh,
That's the wild ginseng, and the ginseng looks like that too. But the
Oh,
wild
so that whole field was a
the wild
ginseng.
ginseng doesn't have a root like the domestic ginseng. Like the domestic ginseng, you get a root that looks like a carrot or whatever on them. Eh? These guys, they'll get a root, and this will go down. There's got to be another one around here somewhere, because he'll go down instead of put a stem out, and then he'll put another one up, and that's how they spread.
oh really?
And if you want to get the roots, you end up with a long string, go from this plant to that plant to this plant.
Oh, right here behind you? Is that what that one is?
Yeah, right there. There it probably goes from there to here.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah,
And,
behind you too, eh?
Yeah,
Like this
just
one
go
here
down
doesn't.
and-
This one doesn't have any flowers on or plant or berries on it. But if you get, it's just like the ginseng. It'll put up a stem, and then you have a cluster of berries. Eh? But the berries on these will be black, and the berries on the ginseng, the domestic ginseng, are red.
Oh, see, they're all coming all through. In
But I'm pretty sure we'll find a place in there maybe where there's the berries. I know I've seen the berries on them this year already.
Oh.
Berries.
Which one?
White silver thing beside you.
Oh,
Piece
wire.
of metal.
Oh.
Indian consumption plant, there's no seed.
Oh, no seed this
Just
year.
There
dry.
was some down Lytton,
Yeah.
down toward Lytton, just before about 15 clicks out there. I got a bunch.
That
Because there was, our
Ant.
territories
Yeah,
was
we-
all,
Yeah.
all short and dry.
Yeah, the ant.
no,
I got
Yeah,
a
we
whole
have
bunch
some,
of them.
no seed. In 3
We
years
don't have any
since there was
seed this
seed.
year from this year.
But I guess the thing that's here is right in the middle of the road here is the water plantain, eh?
Yeah.
For any, like I was telling you, you can take
See
in the building. They were telling you, pull these guys up, and you get the little seeds. You see the little brown seeds? Those little brown seeds will absorb 100 times their weight in water if you're pregnant. You get toxemic and stuff.
So you just eat them.
Yeah, just eat them.
Yeah.
And the leaves are good for stopping bleeding and stop the sting of the bee or the mosquito and stuff. And the root of the water plantain is probably best renowned for ulcers. It'll help. I don't know if it'll cure the ulcers, but it'll definitely ease the pain of the ulcers in the stomach.
So the rattlesnake plantain has a lot of those same properties.
Yeah, similar qualities, but the rattlesnake plantain is in the shady part there.
Yeah.
But before we go into the shady here, I got something. There's this is
Smell first.
Indian
Smell.
consumption plant.
Yeah, smell
And
first.
this is that's the root, and like these roots will get they'll be that long. Eh?
Right.
And
You can smell that.
they,
You can smell
they,
the ant in it.
I used that. Well, I was telling you guys about the dream. I told you,
Yeah.
and you. I had a dream of running down the hill. Well, I think I told all you guys, right? And that's the plant. And that's the plant that my sister is using for her arthritis. She didn't.
So
I
is
just
that
take.
like a carrot, does it? No. It kind of looks a little bit like a carrot, like
I don't know. It's just a
the
root.
stem is there.
A root, and I just put it into. I just drop it into a blender and go. And when
After it's dry.
yeah, when it's like this, it's dry, and I did some the other day, and it's
Into a blender.
yeah, into a blender, and then
Sorry.
just a powder, and then you can just. My sister will grab. Once it's dry, she takes a tablespoonful and puts it into a. She uses a pint jar. So she puts a tablespoon into the pint jar, and she can fill it up with cold water, and then she puts the lid on it. And then she buggers off to work, and when she gets to work, she takes it in and she drinks it. She says she'll pour the stuff in there, and then once everything's sunk to the bottom, then she'll drink it. And that takes about 10 or 15 minutes.
And so is that
And it seems to be curing her arthritis. That's what the old Indian lady in that dream told me. It'll cure arthritis. And I don't know. I just that's the dream. I can't prove or verify the dream until I get it. Like I think I've got 1, 2, 3 people taking it right now, and it definitely helps my sister Cindy with her arthritis. And actually today when I get home, I have to drop off a bag of the ground stuff. That's what I was grinding it up for yesterday, because I ground up a pint jar, and it's in at home. And at the end of the day today, I'll grab it and rip to the country store, because there's a lady in the country store that works there. Her husband's got arthritis, and she wanted to try it on him. Perfect stuff now. It's about 6 or 7 years old. It's from Mount Currie. It's cascara bark, and cascara bark is if you got diarrhea, or if you are constipated and you need something to do, this is the stuff to use.
You have to use it sparingly, though, don't you?
A lot of people will go and get it fresh and use it. Well, you just get ripped, right? If you use it fresh, But a lot of the people that get constipated are mostly the old people, because they don't eat properly, right? They're eating and they get constipated. So if you use the old bark, and then it's gentle and it's easy, and it doesn't rip them, right?
So do you just break off the bark and steep it in hot water?
Go in the blender,
Oh, yeah,
make
to
it into a powder,
powder.
and then you can. Like the yarrow, when I harvest the yarrow, that's what I end up with. I go and harvest the flowers. And sometimes I'll take it, if I'm making a mix, sometimes I'll grind it down more than this. If I'm just using this, I'll just grab that, just grab a chunk like that, put it into a cup, and I think it's just like aspirin. And but I use it for a lot of mixes because it's aspirin, and you can mix it with other things, right? And
But you can just use that as a general
there's
tea,
wild
right?
tarragon. We were just talking about it down in the last stop, and it's got a marvelous smell. Smell that. That's it's you can use it in your fish and stuff. And we were talking about the elderberry flowers. There's the elderberry flowers, and you just stopped and took a picture of the elderberries down there, right? But there's the elderberry flowers.
Did I? Was it elderberries?
Yeah, that where you guys stopped there. That bush that was there was no elderberry.
With the berries?
Oh, what were you looking at there?
Well, it looked like what we stopped and looked at was thimbleberry and the wild raspberry. I didn't see. I didn't see
Totally
the.
missed it. Then there was
Oh
one.
shoot! Well, when we go down, can you stop?
I said
Yeah,
see
we
it,
will.
I said we'll see it on the way back.
Okay, good. Oh, we missed that one. I'm usually pretty good if I see something that I'm not sure about.
Stinging nettle? There's no
Yeah.
stinging nettle up here, so I can't show it you, but
We've got some at the nursery, so we'll show you some what it looks
Yeah,
like
no.
when it's little.
You go
But
pick
the-
hack what you know what's stinging it.
Yeah.
I was telling you about collecting the mullein flowers. Right there, the mullein flowers. This bush right there, that's the mullein flowers, and it takes a long time to get a whole bunch to fill up a pint. But I had these samples out from being with the Littlewood band up the hill the other day, so thought I'd bring them along too. And there's the juniper berries. These guys will get thrown out here pretty soon because they're a year old and they're just about kaput.
Oh, they're no good once they're a year old?
Yeah, and then I throw them away and
Oh,
I
and
go
then
and
you collect
harvest some
again.
fresh stuff.
Right.
And,
Well, if you're throwing out your seed, you can throw them our way and we'll try and plant them.
yeah, sure. I got 2 bagfuls like this.
Yeah.
Didn't have to use much. Sometimes I use lots, people come around. Sometimes I don't use any. But I'm a kind of a nasty guy, so people don't come and see me much. They're afraid of me. There's horsetail.
Yeah.
Horsetail, you need the horsetail and the yarrow. Remember the horsetail and the yarrow combination for incontinence. So when you cough or sneeze and you pee or something, this and yarrow will fix that. And yarrow is a white stinky flower. Right?
I got both of those, so I'm going to start using those.
And we looked at, tansy. This is. I imported this from Hell's Gate. This is the stuff. It's in what do they call it? A fungicide or
Fungicide?
Fungicide.
It expels worms.
Oh, right.
You make a tea and you drink the tea. If you got the worms, right? Or if you got a dog that's got worms, you make a tea and put it in, mix his food in it, and it'll expel the worms from the dog. I imported it from Hell's Gate.
We have
Am
a
I in
few
trouble?
around here. We have a few around here, which the
but I
Invasive
couldn't
Weed
find it around
Society.
here, and I did that.
We had
30
one right, where the
I
big
did that-
Lightfoot gas sign is and all those rocks. There was one there as you come in. And,
I did that
and the
30 years
invasive-
ago, though. I imported it 30 years ago,
Oh, okay.
and it's at my farm.
Oh, okay.
And
The
Where
Invasive
would that-
Species
and-
Council is trying to get
Tansy?
rid of them.
and hawthorn berries. Hawthorn berries, that's like, we call that an in our language, that's like chakum. It's a heart tonic. If you got a bad heart, you should be taking this kind of just take these and throw them into a thing and grind them up, and teaspoon, boiling water, cover 10 minutes, drink it. Carl Alexander had a bad heart and saw me 15 years ago and went blah, 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 and I told him to use hawthorn berry. And he's been using it since, and I
What
saw
about stroke?
What?
People have strokes.
Stroke, I know you'd have to use something to try and re the thing first. And if someone had a stroke, the best, how I could help someone, I'd have to see them, and I use my hands for people with stroke. Because you can do things with your hands that are,
That
I
would help.
can anyway. And then because we are Uchamich, right? There's a herb that's very beneficial for the hunter-gatherers, the type O blood people, and that's the hunter-gatherers. That's most of the Indians around here. It's a domestic plant that we can put in our garden, and it's called cayenne pepper. That's highly beneficial to the type O blood people.
I'm type O too.
Yeah, it's highly beneficial to you. I got from my garden this year, and it's just drying. Once it's dry, then I grind it up, and it's not good for me. Type A's can't have peppers or tomatoes. And another thing that's good for us to have is another good herb is garlic. That's from my garden.
Yeah, that's a nice one.
Garlic, and this is going back into the seed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Looks very
You
healthy.
plant the outside ones, and highly beneficial for type A. It's the best herb for type A blood. And black pepper is not good for us. It will corrode the arteries. Cayenne pepper, on the other hand, cleans out the arteries. So most of the time we're blah 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 with the black pepper, right? Throw the black pepper out, fill it up with this stuff, and use the cayenne pepper
Separate type A.
for type O.
That one?
Type O.
Type O.
This is
Typo.
Yeah, both are good for type O's. This is good for type O, and this is good for my type A. This no is for.
I use a lot of that.
This?
No.
This? Yeah, garlic is good. That's the thing that brought along.
Can't use tomatoes.
What's that?
I can't use tomatoes.
No, tomatoes are, like my wife is type O, and my mum was type O. The English, the Irish, the Scottish, they're all type O's, and the North American Indians, the Northern Hemispheric Indians are all type O's. The Danes, the Swedes, the Norwegians, mostly type O's. The Northern Hemispheric people are type O's. They live on meat, vegetables, and fruit. The detrimental grains for the Indian people is wheat and corn. And the type O's can't get anything out of corn. It's okay to go and have a couple of corn on the cob attacks a year, you know. But if you're like I'm type A, I can eat corn. That's why I got a big corn patch. Some of my corn I just dry so I can grind my own corn up and have my cornmeal, right? But the ones in my family that can eat the corn are myself, my youngest son Tucker, my middle son Levi, and Tucker's youngest son Caden. The rest of my family is all hunter-gatherers. They're type O. Like when I and Tucker, we go and do the hunting. He don't eat much of meat. I don't eat much deer meat. Have a little chunk once in a while. Or I get a cow from Eddie too. That's pretty good meat. Not much fat in that. It's okay for me to eat. But I and Tucker, we do all the hunting, and we don't eat much of the meat. We give it all to Lonnie, because Lonnie and his whole family is meat. Like if I don't cook meat for my wife during the week, she wants to kill me. So I gotta cook meat. And the type O's, they need meat. If you don't get meat, you end up with, like how the thing of the type O stomach, your stomach is right there. The type O stomach produces lots of acids. And the only way those acids get used up is by the consumption of meat. And it uses up the acids. Type A stomach, like my stomach, don't produce much acids. And if I eat meat, everybody's ready to go to work and say, hey man, we gotta have coffee break yet. My stomach is still trying to digest this meat we've been eating. It takes a long time to digest the meat. And the meat stores on the type A body is fat. When I quit eating red meat, I lost my love handles. Like those things that usually stick out right there. But there's are you type A, or do you know? Do you know your blood type?
I'm just type A.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't
Do you know
have
your type?
bananas. I can't have
Tomatoes, peppers, none of that stuff. No cabbage. And actually, nobody should have cabbage. Type O's or A's, no cabbage. Cabbage is difficult on the system, especially when you get older. The older you get, like you eat the cabbage and it produces lots of gas, right? And if you go and fart, it's okay to fart, right? If you fart, it should be non-smelling fart. If you are eating the right foods. If you're eating the wrong kinds of foods, you'll stink out the gymnasium.
To the forest there?
What's that?
Gonna go through here into the forest?
Yeah, well, the mullein, you guys all know about the mullein, right? The mullein plant.
my granddaughter. She's
Good for the lungs. The flowers for the oil in for the ear infections. Well, you can take these leaves and dry them up and then just whip them up like that and throw them into a cup and pour boiling water on and drink the tea, and it helps the lungs, or you're asthmatic and stuff like that. Like I remember when Henry used to hang with me, Henry Fenton, and he had, like when he breathed, you could hear him breathing, because of his asthmatic stuff, and he would come to the sweats, and he started using the mullein, and after a couple of years of using the mullein, he could be sitting across the sweat lodge, and I'd have to really listen before I'd hear him breathing, because it cleaned up his breathing pretty good. But Henry was consistent with it. He used it all the time, and it helped him a lot.
I heard they breathe smoke in from it too.
Yeah, I've you can smoke it, and I tried smoking it. And when you put it into your mouth, it's really hot into the mouth, and you think, holy fuck, if I inhale, it's going to burn my throat. But you inhale it, and it's like nothing. But I don't. I haven't. I gave up the tobacco. Actually, took me, I don't know, about 7 or 8 or 9 or 10 years of practicing before I could quit smoking. Like I'd get up in the morning at home and I'd have my coffee and a cigarette. And when I first started the program, I would take 2 cigarettes with me to the farm, and I'm up there all day, and I make those 2 cigarettes last me. And then after a while, I just have the smoke in the morning, and no tobacco with me to the farm, nothing. And I'd think of having a smoke all day, think. And well, that's it. And then after a while, because the thought of having the cigarette wasn't being satisfied, my brain started going away from there and thinking of something else. And I wasn't thinking of tobacco. And after 7 or 8 years, one morning I got up 3 years ago on July the 6th, my brother Uke's birthday. And I was coughing away, and I said, fuck this, man. I've never had a cigarette since. But it took me a lot of practice weaning myself off. So I started smoking when I was 9. 9 to 63, and I finally quit.
Wow. That's pretty good.
63.
Well, I quit 3 years ago. Yeah, and somebody came in here and chopped down that's mullein.
Yeah.
The mullein is a 2-year plant, right?
Remember that. That's when I
Biennial.
was trying to.
Mullein is a 2-year plant. The first year it just produces a rosette like that.
Yeah.
And the second year it produces this head with
That
the
one.
flowers. The burdock is the same thing. It just produces a rosette the first year, and the second year it puts up the thing with all the
And knapweed as well.
Mama used to
knapweed.
take it like
A lot of the
Lots
weeds,
of
actually.
plants are
Was it?
2-year plants.
That's a weed. This one here.
Yeah.
But I know when I go and collect the mullein leaf for the coughs and stuff like that, I usually go and find the big rosettes like that, because
Yeah.
sometimes you find big guys like that, and you whoosh,
Yeah.
like that, and you grab a half a dozen of them.
Ah,
They're
just
good.
Mama used to pick them like this.
Well, they're plants that
Yeah.
were introduced by your
Yeah.
Take them small.
when they first came.
I'm fussy.
So,
I go and
you
get
know
the
that-
real big ones. I go
And
on
that's
special
that
spots
big.
and
See
you
that
go whoosh,
one,
huge,
but the plantain that's in the forest there.
Yarrow, the yarrow leaf. When you tell people that the leaves of the yarrow look like pipe cleaners,
Ah,
you know, the pipe cleaner things. But there's no more flowers here. We'll probably see the white yarrow flowers when we go up to the top. Well, then I think Oregon grape, you can take the bark off of the roots, and it's a good blood cleanser. So I guess it cleans the liver and therefore cleaning the blood. Right?
Yeah.
And that's what you make.
And
the-
it's also a very good yellow dye. And you could take that yellow and mix it with that
Cactus.
cactus we
juice.
had down there,
Yeah.
and then it would fix it.
Nice bright yellow.
Yeah, nice color. Vivid yellow.
You get a nice mossy green out of it too
Yeah.
sometimes. Yeah.
And
That's it there with that little line.
this is
rattlesnake
the
plantain.
wild ginseng, he said.
Okay.
So it likes the dark. This one here.
Yeah.
Like a God-made trampoline.
Yeah.
So what is that on
Cedar tree. There's a lot of uses for cedar. Take some of the leaves and dry them and use them for smudge and stuff. If you had the cedar, like if you had take things like that, kind of chop. Like if you had an all inflamed foot or something that was all swollen up, you could take some of those branches and lay the cedar branches on the swelling and wrap it up, and it would dissipate the swelling. Other than that, it's a good building tree, good carving tree, good smelling tree.
And good for
This is-
making baskets and
Yeah, baskets
weaving
and
pots. Yeah.
This laying down is like birch.
Birch, yeah.
Yeah.
So is this that what they called that chaga that's on the side of this?
I don't know what the fungus you mean?
Yeah,
I don't know,
it's supposed to be
once-
really good for something too.
Once they're down, there's all kinds of fungus that grow on them.
Yeah, I see that. There's some green stuff there.
These guys are on there since it's been down, because this is up all the time, right?
Yeah,
So these were down, and then the fungus grew on them.
yeah, because there was
You
a.
were talking about a mushroom. There's one right there.
Oh, is that a good mushroom?
I don't know. I doubt it.
Ah,
They say if it's white underneath, it's probably edible. This one isn't. Might be magic.
well, I
Magic.
don't know. If I only know 2 mushrooms, and that's the only 2 I pick. And I don't even eat mushrooms. Lloyd
Fine.
eats them.
This Devil's Club, right?
Okay, so might be easier to go back around that way for you guys to go through.
Well, that's where the trail is here.
To go through the trail we were just looking at.
Oh, Devil's Club. Lots of Devil's Club in here.
Yeah, you gotta watch these big leaved ones here.
Yep.
The plant, like the
Spines are on them.
base has the stickies or the pokies.
Quite the needle,
leaf
quite
does
the
too.
leaves, eh?
Yeah.
And red osier dogwood
Smell
behind
them.
it.
Once you get
So
a really,
really
good smell
dense
of like one freshly picked, you'll never forget that.
It's a heath.
Wintergreen, they call it sometimes, I think.
Yeah, wintergreen, pink wintergreen. Evergreen.
Pyrola.
So it's an evergreen little shrub.
Yeah, and you get those little flowers on the top of them.
Huh.
It's a little different than that one.
So I'm going to put this here.
And
Oh,
look
that's
what-
an
what's
idea.
right there.
That's what I was saying when if you want to identify out in the field, that's sometimes
Yeah.
a really good thing to do. Because then you've got it right, the name right there.
I seen that. You had a picture
Yeah,
like
that's
that.
what I thought I talked about that last
No.
time. Yeah, like I do that quite a bit. And then this is the rattlesnake plantain over here.
Oh, is that what that is?
Yeah.
Ooh. Oh, this little thing right here.
Yeah, see with the little stripe down the back? I wonder why they call it rattlesnake plantain.
So do
I need a memory plant, one that's really good for the memory.
Fish.
I can stand by yarrow. The other day I was standing by a sage bush and I was trying to. I couldn't remember.
You couldn't remember the name of it?
Oh yeah, it's bad. I'm starting to worry.
Red osier dogwood, I think they call this. Some people call it the red willow. Red osier dogwood, right?
Yep, that's
There
right.
you go.
Yeah.
And the inner bark of this is also acetylsilic acid, aspirin. The inner
Aspirin.
bark.
The red willow. Okay.
And it's supposed to be the ribs in my sweat lodge, but I don't have any ribs in my sweat lodge.
That's the one that we made the bird blind out of, right?
Yeah.
So you could easily
Yeah.
use it to make a sweat house, like
Yeah, we're supposed to have that's the ribs, right?
Yeah.
My sweat lodge doesn't have ribs. 'Cause my
So you
sweat
think that's this one?
my sweat lodge is made out of stone.
I thought this grew a lot taller, but it's probably because it's underneath the
it's supposed to be
forest.
standing like that, but it's got knocked down. I'm pretty sure that's baneberry. Yeah, look at the leaves, see? That's baneberry. I know it's in here. That's not a very good sample of it.
No, it's not. I've seen it better on the side of the.
Back of a snake, eh? Because they, like a rattlesnake looks very similar to a bull snake, like with the diamonds on the back, right? Yeah. I know at my farm I've got bull snakes down by my sweat lodge because they're in my wood pile, right? Yeah. And they're up by my chicken pen because I got a whole bunch of tires and I built a wall with tires and they stay in there because it's nice and dry. And they're also in my compost box where it's hot, right?
Yeah.
So I got them in 3 different places. Rattlesnake
What fern?
plantain.
This is a different fern than grows down lower too.
Yeah, I don't know what is that fiddlehead? Fiddlehead? No? Yes? No? I don't know. Well, these are all curled up when they're little, right?
Yeah, yeah.
That's
so
the
that's
fiddlehead,
probably
though, isn't it?
Fiddlehead, yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's fiddlehead. Oh, and there's the currants.
Currant?
There's a lot of different ferns.
Are we going that way?
Through here. I think it gets pretty wet out there.
Yeah.
No, this is just devil's pond here, right?
Yeah.
Thought
Yeah,
there might
that's
be
cool.
berries, but they're all gone. We're too late for the berries.
Probably up further.
Up higher?
There isn't any.
That's pretty tall and right behind you, eh?
The berries are all kaput. Maybe those too dry. I'm not
Well, they had flowers on them this year.
sure. Yeah,
I seen them up Duffy
but
when I was up there.
it looks like all these flowers didn't make it. See, look at them all hanging there. They got to the flower stage, and then the weather must have been wrong, and they didn't turn. See, look at these. No berries.
Mm-hmm.
They're just all
yeah.
whoosh, whoosh. See,
Yeah.
all over.
Wow.
Weather was wrong. No
To
berries.
here
Not
anyway,
here
eh?
anyway. Yeah, no, there's lots here.
Wow.
If you need the root, then you just come down here and dig around and
Yeah.
grab the root.
Yeah.
The thing that's in here, that's of abundance in here, is worm castings.
Oh yeah.
Worm shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, you go like this, right?
Yeah. And all that down below there, see? All
Hey, look at
that.
that.
That's some worms, yeah.
That's worm castings.
It does look like the fiddle one.
Hey, there's the stuff that we all got to have in our garden.
I know, isn't that beautiful?
That's worm shit.
Yeah.
The worms take stuff and eat it over and over and over and over and over and over.
Smells nice too.
And it's,
Where did you get
Put
that?
that-
Just right under the stump or?
they're standing on it.
Just right, you're
Right here,
standing
you just go like
Yeah,
this.
just open it. Look at that, how black
And that's
that is.
just basically from all the
Yeah.
leaves that are
Yeah.
falling down, and
That's good soil.
like you can feel this.
Can grow
Like
anything with it.
it's you don't feel that down.
Oh,
low.
I tell people, monster trampoline in here.
I was doing it with their
You want to feel it?
That one there?
Yeah. See how it's all prickly too? So the gooseberry is a lot like that as well. You always do.
See? Look at it.
Yeah, it's
I
a
know,
long,
isn't that
long-
beautiful? I think it's a part of a lichen or a moss. I think it's a moss, isn't it?
It sure looks like it.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, otherwise I wouldn't be here, right?
Look at this. A lot. Look at
These
this.
guys.
I love this when you see. That's a lichen, right?
Oh, look at one of those growing right out there.
Yeah.
Right out of the middle of there. That's amazing.
Look along the log. I love looking at logs and seeing what and rocks. You know, when you look at a
Really
rock
stuff,
and
yeah.
all the different things on it.
Yeah, yeah, all the different things on them. Lloyd's like, are you taking picture of rocks again? Like, you
I
know,
got quite a slime mold.
Slime mold?
You know who's really good if you wanted to learn about your lichens and mosses is Ken Wright. He helped write the.
You wrote a book
Yeah.
on it?
He did like a academic book. He helped the fellow who is a specialist in BC.
Okay, right. He's the guy that goes all over the world.
Yeah,
You know that plant called Indian pipe?
yeah.
I've run into that a few times up here.
I'm sure. Yeah, yeah,
The white thing. Like
yeah.
that.
And then it just disappears. It's like just there for a little while. And
Yeah, there
it's
used to be, like in the lower area here, used to be a lot more fauna, a lot more stuff around the plants and stuff. But then Eddie and them guys, they started letting their cows come this way. Now it's all
Yeah.
gone.
Oh, see, that's not.
Right down to the... But I hear they're going to do some fencing.
What do you think? Cow pie. I don't know if it is it or not. A crust lichen.
There's some other mushrooms growing in here. Round, puffy looking.
Are those the puff
Those
balls?
puff balls, yeah.
Smoke signals. You guys get that? Please listen to me.
Puff balls.
Little puff balls, eh? Yeah.
oh yeah.
It's hard.
Poof, poof, poof.
We used to get Mum in Mum's field. We used to
The
get.
rain we had the other day, on the lower road, there's two great big guys like that just come up overnight.
Yeah,
They'd be still good too.
yeah.
But The thing with the big round mushrooms like that, they're like tofu.
It's really
They don't taste like much. You chop, 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 throw them in a pan, add garlic, add whatever, and they taste just like whatever you put in with it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You need a knife to get that.
yeah,
I like tofu.
yeah.
Tofu's like that.
Yeah,
I don't know what
I don't like tofu.
Puff balls. It's
Have
like
you tried it?
Well, that's,
I put my long English climbing a fence, figuring that if they all hung, they would be all straight. No. Still good. Yeah.
We don't see very much lichen
That is
off the
something else.
trees
That
in
is
here.
Interesting. I like that.
Higher up.
yeah.
Yeah.
No
And
fence
so-
line.
Should have brought
Yeah.
a knife.
I know. I was thinking the same thing. Should have brought a knife. Mine's in the.
The lichen. I've got
A knife
scissors.
for what?
That.
Yeah.
she
See
wants
this
to
old
sample.
fashioned shaver?
That's a crust.
I used to have one of those.
I got this from Twefman.
Oh, one of those.
His daughter came, or one of his friends, one of his relations came home and gave him a box, and there was 4 of these in the box, and they were all stuck. Eh? Just rusted right up.
You just
And he-
wanted pieces to look at it.
And he put them in he put it in
I think
oil.
it's a
and
cow pie lichen.
it's an old shaver. And
It's a
feel-
lichen. It's not a cow pie.
It's a cow pie lichen.
Holding couch.
or,
That one there.
Look at the batch of rattlesnake plantain here with the dry flower on the top.
Oh, yeah.
Showing.
Yeah, that's a nice little clump. Oh. You take them off? It looks like it's just kind of.
Just coming off by itself. Eh?
Yeah, I think so.
Just
It
peeled
almost
off.
looks like it's when people peel it.
A birch, right?
This is the birch here, and see how it just comes off really easily in strips?
Mm-hmm.
Ah, it's a pack. You need this stick? No. I'm looking at this.
Harvest,
Yeah, that's what she was showing you. Yeah. Looks like somebody cut it and then didn't take it.
Oh yeah.
and so the root's obviously not prickly.
Ah,
A little bit?
not once it's underground.
No.
Oh. That's a mess for this one.
Pass that
Smell that
around.
now.
Pass that piece over this way.
Smells like
It smells like the forest. Very distinct. It almost smells a little bit like Oregon grapefruit.
Devil's Club.
Yeah, there's
And see how he's digging the.
some similarity. Usually I'll go and like I was digging over there where I got it right down, and there's a lot of these guys along, so I just dig down to where they are underneath, and then you can follow the. I guess not very good.
The
over here,
runners.
but you can pull them all out
Oh wow.
and see, because that's all been underground. I could use that whole thing. I would use it from here. I'd chop that off right there. And if you're for the purposes of diabetes, for example, I would take this stem part here, cut it off, and then I use pruning shears, and just go chop, 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 little chunks. And I take a big bundle of those chunks and put them into a pot, like that much in a pot and that much water.
So fresh, or you can dry them too.
Yeah, dry.
Yeah, yeah.
Dry or fresh. And then I bring it to a boil and let it simmer for half an hour, 40 minutes, something like that, 45 minutes. Then I'll take the juice that's produced from the boiling of this, pour it all through a couple of cheesecloths, and I do that a couple of times so it's all nice and clear. Then I put it back on the stove and make sure it's still hot, so it's boiling hot. And I've prepared 3 or 4 or 6, depending on how big a batch I make, on empty quart jars, and with sealers and everything boiled and ready to put up.
So you can actually
And I fill
can
up the jars, clean the lid, drop the thing on, and seal them up. And once they cool, they suck a seal, and then I'm good for it. And if people come and they need medicine for diabetes, well, I'll take out 2 of those or 3 of them and give them that. And I go and get a bag of the creeping juniper, the prickly juniper berry bush, the common juniper up in the high country. Get those berries and grind them up. Then you take a teaspoon of that, put it into a cup, pour boiling water in, 3/4 of a cup, and cover it for 10 minutes. Then you can take the thing off, go to the fridge, pull out this quart of Devil's Club mix, the decoction that you got, open that up, and top up the with 1/4 cup the juniper berry. So you got 3/4 cup of juniper berry, 1/4 cup of Devil's Club decoction. And that's what you drink for diabetes.
1 cup of the juniper. I thought it was the other way around.
3/4 of a cup of juniper
Oh,
berry
okay,
tea,
3/4 of a cup. Okay,
and 1/4 cup of Devil's Club.
right.
And you have the drink today, and you mark it on the calendar where it is. And you go 1, 2, 3, 4. You can have it again there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Have it again there. Every 4 days. One guy in Shalath was told about it, and he decided that he wanted to get better in half the amount of time, and he started taking it every 2 days, and he ended up in the hospital. And
Gotta be careful.
some guy in Cache Creek, somebody gave him some Devil's Club, and he was drinking it every friggin' day. And they called me and asked me what the antidote was, and I said, well, what did he do? And he said, oh, he's been drinking every day, and he can't hardly move anymore, can't move his hands or his feet.
No,
I said,
no.
well, you better get him to a sweat lodge and pour the milk to him. And tell him to quit drinking this stuff. You can't drink it all the time. You can't drink it. It's dangerous. You got to know what you're doing.
There's a community.
And using this as the diabetes medicine, that came from a lady called Martina La Rochelle and Edith O'Donoghue. They are the ones that were working on it, and they developed it, and that's what it came down to, and they passed it on to me. Because I was a little shishmat that could uchamich. That's why they shared with me, so I could understand them and talk to them. And there's a lot of Indians around that didn't speak, and they wouldn't share with them because they wouldn't speak. So I got shared with because I was a little white kid that knew the language. They called me Shishma all the time. Shishma. One guy could call me Shishma and it was okay, and his name was Joe Adrian. He called me that since I was born. And it wasn't called derogatorily.
What's this big one behind you there?
That
is that the
what,
older?
the big tree?
Yeah, fallen
Birch,
down.
looks like birch.
Oh, birch. Okay.
But the Devil's Club is a good plant too. It's like it's an immune system booster. Like if people like I was telling you earlier that where we gonna have a bad flu, or we're gonna have the bad flu will be coming, and we'll have to be using. That's when we use the Devil's Club and the Yarrow and the elderberry flowers.
Don't forget to stop at the elderberry when we
Yeah,
get there.
we'll stop on the way down. But the
There's a guy up in Goldbridge.
if a person had a toothache, you could take a chunk of the bark and chew on it and stuff it in the thing, and it'll stop the ache and the pain of the toothache. And if you got a little bit of a cough, a little bit of a cold, a little chunk of root bark on this, you chew on a chunk, and it'll help the throat, help the cough. It's a pretty renowned plant.
Yeah, there's actually the Duncan First Nations community down there is now doing a trial where they're actually growing it in kind of like a forest garden setting.
No, I saw that on the tube.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know what that looks like. But
Must be nice to be God. That's what they're trying to do now, right? Trying to grow it like God grew it. This is from God's garden, marvelous garden
yeah,
here.
it is, yeah.
Big swamp. Like if you go down the gully down here, start walking down the gully, there's nothing, it's just dry. And all of a sudden there's just a little tiny dribble of water. And that dribble of water gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and pretty soon you got Nama Creek flowing down there. I was wondering what it would be like to take the water right from there, right from where it's just starting to dribble, take it from there and take it in for a sample and see what it would be like. See if you could just take that and bottle it and pedal it. But you pedal the water, then it's
I
going to.
thought he was going to say,
You
Too
know,
nice up here.
did you know that it costs more for a bottle of water than it does, or more for a liter of water than it does for a liter of gas?
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah.
And people don't pay for it. They don't appreciate it because they're not paying for it, I suppose.
Yeah, a glass, a bottle of water is $1.25, $1.35, and gas is $1.22 or $1.25. Back, I guess we're going to be getting down to cheap gas here pretty soon. Back
Yeah,
east, I
yeah.
hear it's down to 90 cents, 99 cents, 95 cents.
$1.07 in Chilliwack.
Oh, she's going down.
Oh, there's just a few.
The weather wasn't.
Yeah, they didn't make it all the way.
The weather wasn't
You want to
good.
know?
yeah.
Put your hand in there.
The weather isn't nice there. No use coming into my territory if you're going to go and get medicine from here, Sarah. You want to look right
Go
above
on
you.
your own.
Well, I went above there.
Yeah, I've seen that.
It almost looks like a red rosy dogwood leaf, but what's this
But
one
since
here?
the fire, I
Franklin?
haven't.
yeah.
Willow.
Yeah, that's what I thought. It looks like red rosy dogwood, but it doesn't have its red stem. Yeah, it's red willow.
Not out in the sunshine.
Yeah.
You get, like at the beginning when the forest is first starting, there's lots of birch and lots of. After a while, they get shaded out and they all fall, and they become non-part. Then after everything, if it all burned down again, well, you start with a bunch of birch and willows and blah 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 again, and
Yeah, like they're the nursery crop.
yeah, they're the beginning, I guess.
They shade all the little
Oh,
trees.
the bear must be ripping on this
Yep.
tree here. I think we're right on his trail here. He goes right through here. Follow him and see. When I was a kid, I used to see these, and I used to go with my great grandma. And I'd start digging, and you dig down, and eventually come to a tuber.
The ground is still pretty dry, though, isn't it, underneath there?
Yeah, it's dry. Usually it's down. It's usually wet.
Yeah.
But it's dry, it doesn't rain much.
Yeah.
That's why there's no, look at the Devil's Club, they're not supposed to be like this. But
No, not now.
It's August, it's
Yeah, I
not September,
know.
that's the end of September.
I know.
The berries are gone, that's the end of September. The berries didn't even get to come, look,
Yeah.
they all died because it was too dry. You go out in the swamp, I bet the water out here is really small.
Yeah. I know. It's kind of. I think we're going to have an early fall.
I think we're in trouble, myself. We might be going into another depression or something because look at the markets.
Yeah.
Everything's going crazy on the markets.
And take a look at all the fires that are happening too.
I used to think that a pretty funky, funny tuber when I saw that as a kid. I said, amazing. Enjoy
And what did she use it for?
women's problems. Can dry them, grind them up, make a tea.
You have such nice hands.
What's that?
You have nice hands.
Yeah, keep them. In other words, keep it still so we can take a picture.
See that side?
And nice and long and elegant.
And I use my hands are in the dirt every day.
Yeah.
Every
That's
day.
why.
And my fingernails, they just grow like you wouldn't believe.
That's why he's got.
And I'm always digging in the dirt.
Plants are in the ground.
My garden, I have made my garden so powerful now that I can dig without, I dig my potatoes, I don't even use a shovel.
Nice and
Because
smooth.
my ground is so, took me, well I've been growing my garden there for since 1990. 25 years.
You want to pass that around? It's really interesting.
And it's,
cool root, eh?
like this stuff here is worm castings too, eh?
Yeah.
This stuff here, it's all worm shit. The worms have eaten that over and over and over and over. Worms. Like I tell people in my daily prayer, I say, thank you, Lord, for allowing me to make it through the night. Thank you for the worm. Amen. Without the worm, we have nothing.
Yeah.
The worms produce 20-20-20. Rotten stuff like this doesn't produce 20-20-20. This stuff all grows here because there's worms in here and they're producing fertilizer. If we didn't have the worms, there'd be no fertilizer and there'd be no growth, there'd be nothing. Raspberry leaf tea.
Raspberry leaf tea for morning sickness.
Morning sickness, yeah.
And for
Ease childbirth.
ease childbirth.
Cannabis will do the same too.
So
That's just the leaf.
Ease
All
the
you do is
childbirth?
just collect the leaves.
Yeah.
And let them dry, and then don't boil it, just steep it.
Cannabis?
No, the raspberry tea.
Yeah. Raspberry and cannabis will do the same.
No, right?
Stops nausea. If you take your cannabis tea, it stops you. Stops that.
Here's some seed of the false Solomon seal.
Oh.
The little berries that are on. See how the berries are very translucent? They're real translucent. Yeah. So that's the false Solomon seal, which is
magic one.
this is this one here, right? The leaf.
I don't know what that is.
I used it and I just curled up and went to sleep. Didn't take long.
When I was using that, I would use up to a 1/4 ounce at a time. While you were away, we were talking about the raspberry leaf. Raspberry leaf tea is good for
morning sickness.
nausea. You know, it's like lots of ladies when they get pregnant, morning sickness they call it. Raspberry leaf tea stops that.
Oh, really?
As does
And it eases
cannabis leaf tea will do the same too.
Oh, yeah.
It stops the
It's pregnant.
And it also eases childbirth. So when they're
Okay.
having the baby.
Yeah.
shipped to the cities for the flowers.
The Okanagan people boil the branches to make a tea for colds, tuberculosis, and kidney problems. And the used it to heal broken bones and swelling, and to heal internal ailments.
Inflatable.
Yeah,
It's like
I always say that wrong.
So,
So yeah, so we have 2 evergreens in here. The one with the big leaves. Do you remember what those are?
the Oregon grape, is that one?
Yeah, Oregon grape. So see the ones over there, really shiny evergreen leaves, and then
Salt,
there's
salt.
this plant here.
Salt.
And this is like it's called force boxwood. And,
Some people sometimes mix it up with kinnikinick because of the leaves look similar to the
yeah,
kinnikinick.
yeah, it's true.
But it doesn't lay on the ground.
Yeah, it
You go to
spreads.
Mount Currie and you get boxwood that's growing
Yeah, it can grow quite tall too.
4,
Yeah,
5, 6 feet tall.
yeah.
You know,
This I have been trying to get seed of this for a long time, and it just like it has little flowers that kind of go up the side,
Yeah.
but then it never seems to seed.
If you want maybe out Camus where it's a little bit more out in the open, there's lots of it out in the open in Camus.
Sorry.
So this is good for tuberculosis and colds, it says, and for healing swellings and broken bones.
Yeah, my drug of choice for that is wild tarragon.
These are the false Solomon
That's the
seal?
force Solomon seal.
Almond seal, yeah.
Yeah.
And
this is the wild ginger.
Wild ginseng.
Ginseng. Ginseng?
Ginseng, yeah. I don't know why they call it
Wild
ginseng, because
ginseng.
it doesn't have a tuber type root. You would think that it would have a tuber type root if you're going to call it a ginseng, eh?
Mm-hmm.
But it's not. It's just.
So where's the wild ginger? It's kind of similar.
Ginger goes from root